everyone, welcome back to the channel where we dive deep into trending stories, cultural moments, and the reaction that follow. Today we are discussing a statement made by a Pakistan woman that is stirring up conversations online. She said, and I quote, "If you don't want to vote for Jean Stein, vote for Donald Trump, but do not give a vote to Kamala Harris and expect to be welcomed by my communities." That is a strong stance. Let's unpack this and see how people are reacting.
You don't want to vote for Jill, vote for Donald Trump. But do not give a vote to Kamala Harris and expect to be welcomed by my community.
Palestine is central for some voters to decide how to cast their vote in the polling booth. But with war raging in the Middle East, can Kamala Harris convince some of them to back her campaign?
Do either of the candidates have a voice that you can ally yourself with?
And none of the major candidates, absolutely not. They're both the same.
She says words such as self-determination, and too many Palestinian lives have been lost, as if there is a number that's acceptable. And I don't understand how my people's lives are lost, as if they can't be found, instead of them being deliberately targeted by the very weapons that she continues to fund and to send.
There isn't much of a difference between him and Kamala Harris. But I do know one thing. If Donald Trump was president while the genocide was going on, you'd have a lot more Democrats with a backbone willing to call Donald Trump a war criminal for allowing it to happen.
A lot of y'all need to realize, for black people, we already don't feel welcome in your community. A lot of y'all forget anti-blackness is a global problem. So whether we vote for Harris, vote for Trump, it wasn't going to change our opinion. A lot of y'all will only tokenize black people when it benefits you, but as soon as we don't agree with your ideology, or as soon as we don't agree with what you're saying, then we're the enemy. We're supporting genocide. When African descent people been going through genocide, not just in the United States, but in Africa, and still go through genocide in certain countries in Africa. And we're still treated like we're at the bottom in every single marginalized community. And y'all wonder why black people say at the end of the day, it's better to keep to ourselves than keep sticking our necks out for other communities. Because at the end of the day, we know y'all don't give a damn about us. Y'all switch up too quick. And this is a perfect example of what I mean. One moment, if we don't agree, all of a sudden we're the enemy. At the end of the day, nobody's helping black people with the suffering that we continue to go through in the United States. Nobody continues to help us when it comes to racism, redlining, discrimination. Our people are still getting unalived. And we still have to deal with that. And a lot of y'all don't understand that. We as black people still have to deal with them systems that we did not put in place. African people in different areas that are still going through genocide, that's been going through genocide for a very long time, still have to deal with that. But one thing I've never heard any black people or African descent people say out their mouth, that we're not going to welcome you in our community. We still stick our necks out just to get treated like this. And a lot of y'all will tokenize Congo and different African people that are going through genocide just to push our ideologies, because I've been noticing that too. But y'all will say shit like this and wonder why African descent people no longer want to support other marginalized people because of this attitude. If we're not welcome in your community, what's new? That's nothing new. That's not a shocker. I need a lot of y'all to realize that. We've been not feeling welcome in your community. We've been dealing with anti-blackness. What's new?
Well, as you can see, you got your wish. Now we don't give a damn. And honestly, we got our own problems. So if that's how you want to receive us, then bye.
Black women, I know that we are disappointed yet again. Not surprised, but disappointed. Frustrated, angry, enraged. But I'm seeing a bunch of stuff come across my For You page about people running to Starbucks and running to McDonald's. And while I understand the sentiment of like, you know, us putting down our capes and all of that, like I'm fully with that, I can't help but think how disingenuous it feels to like in this moment just run to go support something that is not actually good for us either, out of spite or to be petty. And I'm not trying to police how y'all respond or how you grieve or anything like that, but I would love for us to take a second before we start promoting all this propaganda with these corporations who, yes, we might have went hard for Palestine and for the Palestinian people, but they still don't necessarily do right by us either. Like at the end of the day, Starbucks went after their labor, like their union labor workers, because of their support of Palestine, but they still went after that. That's union busting. We need more union support. We need more checks and balances in this country. So this is also bigger than that. So like if you're not standing strong and like still boycotting Starbucks because of Palestine, fine. But like to run back because you just need this caramel macchiato so damn bad, or you just need that, you don't need it that bad. You quite literally don't need it that bad. And to me, y'all look whack. And that might not matter because y'all don't know me, you know, we don't know each other, but it looks whack. Running to go get some McDonald's, the food don't even age. It don't even rot. It's not even real food, for real. Allegedly. Y'all don't miss McDonald's that much. And I get that we're hurt and we're frustrated and all of that, but we don't gotta drag our nuts. Like, we quite literally don't. I still do not want Palestinian people to be experiencing this G-side, regardless of this lady and plenty of others who felt how they felt, voted how they voted. Like, nobody deserves that. And for me, in putting down the cape and stepping aside, because I also see some of, you know, the Palestinian like influencers and voices that I have been supporting and I have been following for quite a while, just have some very interesting takes that make me uncomfortable. I'm reassessing, I'm renegotiating, but I will never just completely rip my support, because to me that feels like it was never genuine to begin with. And that's the same kind of game, the game of allyship that others play with us. And I don't think that that's cool. I think that often, unfortunately, we have to be above reproach. We have to be 2 times, 3 times, 4 times better. But in this case, it kind of fits. Like, let's not stoop to those levels. If you're going to withdraw support, if you're going to be less vocal because you feel disrespected, that's valid. But don't squander and shit on all of the stuff that you said and done up until this point if you did it genuinely as a human who just don't believe that this inhumane should be able to ride, if that makes sense. It's just leaving a really bad taste in my mouth watching all these people like run to Starbucks and McDonald's, and it's just like, can we not? Can we please? Because genocide is still wrong. It's still wrong. I'm over it.
Bye, Palestine. It was nice knowing you. I'm gonna stay here in my house, mind my own fucking business.
First of all, it's Kamala. She's been a prominent figure for 10 years. Pronounce her name correctly. It's like a respect thing. And secondly, if we aren't welcome in your community anymore, even though a lot of us have been raising money, donating our time to raise awareness and to help stop and protect your community, does that mean we don't have to do that anymore and we can just go back to doing what we were doing before, where like we could go to McDonald's and like Starbucks and stuff and like other places that are like not, you know, pro-Palestine? Because if that's the case, like that opens up a whole new world of possibilities for us. But you know, obviously I just feel like There is no need for the disrespect.
And I don't want to see nobody suffer. But, like I said, I'm here for the show. I'm here for the show. And don't say nothing, not nothing to black people. Because if you thought it was bad under the Biden administration, people in Palestine, watch what's about to happen. Because Israel about to take off the gloves. You thought they were bad before? Watch what they're about to do. The only hope that you had of things get any better, which would have been with a Harris administration. Like I said, I'm here for the show. I mean, and you're about to get what you get. So, welcome. Welcome. And I swear to God, no sir. And I say, you know what? It's almost, and I don't want to say that, but it's almost like you want to see how bad things can get. No, sir.
Just so we are clear, Madam Vice President Kamala Harris called for a ceasefire, and the other one, and I'm just paraphrasing, said that he's going to give Benny Boy everything he needs to get the job done. Now, darling, I know for a fact you yourself do not have a military to stop what's about to go down. So, good luck.
Ooh. Y'all sure have let your ego and pride jump ahead of you. Guys are acting remarkably like Zionists. Scary how similar you are. Well, something tells me you don't understand the buying power of the black community all on its own. We have the ability to shut shit down or make a business go booming. But you're about to find out. Y'all might want to just quiet. And good luck protesting in a Trump America. Okay. Ta-ta.
Alright, let's break this down. Because this statement touches on so many layers of politics, identity, and community dynamics. First off, let's revisit what was said. If you don't want to vote for Justin, vote for Donald Trump, but do not give a vote to Kamala Harris and expect to be welcomed by my community. That is a bold and provocative statement, and it's no surprise it sparked so much conversation online. But to really understand its implications, we need to look at this from several angles. First, just think, she's not even in the running right now, so invoking her name is interesting. Stein represents a more progressive, Green Party alternative, so perhaps this is a critical of how centrics or corporate politics have dominated the Democratic Party. If someone is aligning with Stein's principles, they are likely frustrated with both major parties, but does that frustration justify pivoting all the way to Trump? For many, that is a leap that feels extreme, even contradictory. Trump's policy during his presidency were widely seen as harmful to immigrants, minorities, and communities of color. So the suggestion to vote for him raises questions. Is this purely about rejecting Kamala Harris, or is there a deeper ideological shift happening here? Now, let's talk about Kamala Harris. She's the first woman, the first black, and the first South Asian vice president in US history. On paper, her identity seems like it would resort with immigrant communities, including Pakistani Americans, but representation isn't everything. Many have criticized Harris' record as a prosecutor, her policy stance, and what they perceive as a lack of concrete action on issues like immigration reform, criminal justice reform, and economic inequality. This criticism isn't unique to South Asians, they are echoed by many progressives. However, is it fair to say that voting for her would alienate someone from their community? That is where this gets complex. This brings us to the idea of community and belonging. The woman's statement implies that voting for Harris would somehow betray or distance someone from their community. That is a heavy assertion. Communities are diverse and no one vote or voter should determine who is in or out. That kind of historic can be dangerous because it creates division within groups that already face external pressures and discrimination. It's important for communities to engage in open, respectful discussion about political choices without resorting to gatekeeping. Voting is a deeply personal decision, and persons' reasons for supporting a candidate can vary widely based on their priorities, values, and experience. Then there is the suggestion to vote for Donald Trump. This part of the statement is maybe the most controversial. Trump's policy during his presidency, such as the travel ban affecting predominantly Muslim countries, were widely criticized by immigrants and Muslim communities, including many Pakistanis. So, to endorse him seems counterintuitive. However, some have argued that Trump's economic policy or perceived straightforwardness appeal to a segment of the population, even among minorities. Is this woman tapping into a sentiment that feels overlooked by the current administration, or is this more about rejecting Harris than endorsing Trump? Let's not forget the public reaction to this statement, which has been incredibly polarized. On one side, you have people agreeing with her, feeling that Harris haven't done enough to earn their trust. On the other side, you have people who sees this as isolating and even harmful. And in the middle are those who believe this debate reflects broader issues, like how disconnected many politicians are from the communities they claim to represent. These reactions reveal how diverse and nuanced political opinions are within the Pakistani American community and immigrant communities more broadly. But this is about more than just one election or one statement. It's a snapshot of how immigrant communities navigate the complex landscape of American politics. For many, it's about balancing cultural identity with political identity. It's about deciding which issues matter most, whether that is immigration, healthcare, education, or something else, and finding candidates who align with those priorities. And let's be honest, no politician is perfect. Every candidate has flaws, and every voter has to weigh the pros and cons when making their decision. What this controversy shows us is the importance of dialogue. Instead of attacking or dismissing one another, we need to ask, why do people feel the way they do? What experiences or beliefs are shaping their views? For example, if someone criticizes Harris, is it because of her policy, her leadership style, or something else entirely? And if someone supports Trump, what about his platform resonates with them? These are the kinds of questions we need to ask if we want to move beyond the surface level debates and truly understand each other. So where do we go from here? This statement has undoubtedly sparked a lot of controversy, but it's also an opportunity for reflection. How can we as individuals and as communities engage in political discussions that are both passionate and respectful? How can we ensure that everyone feels heard and valued, regardless of their political views? And most importantly, how can we work together to address the issues that matter most to all of us? In the end, voting is just one part of the equation. It's what we do before and after elections. Through advocacy, community organizing, and holding leaders accountable, that truly makes a difference. So whether you agree or disagree with this woman's statement, let's use it as a starting point for deeper conversations about politics, community, and the future we want to create together. Thanks for sticking with me through this discussion. I did love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Let's keep this conversation going. And as we always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more in-depth commentary on stories that matter. See you in the next video.